The title of my book is Eurodementia, European Union, the authoritarian design of the Babel Tower. Why I compare the European Union with the Babel Tower? Because the Babel Tower is the exact example of what the European Union is. Slaves that build up the enormous tower, somebody take advantage of it, but most of the people, through their taxation, have built this structure that sooner or later will have the future already written. It will be doomed to fail. Hello to everyone, my name is Giuseppe Ruffini Bizzarri. I've developed my business career between different countries and different continents. For that reason, I speak several languages, and in the particular case of writings, I write in different languages. I am a writer too, and today I want to present my new book to you in order to make some advertising of it. This is the one that I will talk about today, is my second book. The first one was around inflation, and the objective of that was to explain what are the real causes of inflation, and also to introduce two theories that I have developed. The first theory was the irrationality of public spending, and the second theory that had been developed in the first book was the universal redistribution of resources, which in short words is how the rich are becoming richer and how the poor are becoming poorer because of redistribution logics that have been implemented throughout the world by different governments. It doesn't matter that those governments are left-wing or right-wing. The old redistributions idea actually have been working exactly at the opposite of what they were expected to be working. That's the reality of the situation. So, the first book was The Lord of the Economic and Financial Apocalypse, the dark reality of inflation and its true causes. Well, in the second book, today is the day of talking about the second book. In a few moments, I will uncover the title of the second book. But in the second book, I analyze the European Union, because at the time of the Constitution and at the time of constructing the European Union, all throughout Europe, there were many hopes. But unfortunately, reality has been completely different of what happened and of what were the expectations. So this book, the second one, analyzes from an historical and cultural point of view what have been the basis on which the European Union have been built, what are the political weaknesses of that union, what are the economic weaknesses of that union, and finally, who are the losers of the union. In short word, the middle class are the ones that are losing by having their countries belonging in the European Union. So the book analyzes in detail all the aspects and all the problems that are around the European Union, from a political through cultural and economical point of views. Many readers and many people around the world, in Asia or in Latin America, might think that European Union could be a sort of panacea, a sort of objective that even their country should look at, for example, to do something similar in Latin America or maybe in Asia. But actually, the European Union had been the exact opposite of what many people think of it. And the important thing to be understood about the European Union is its main characteristic, that is profoundly authoritarian. We can even say sometimes it looks totalitarian. So there is an image of democracy that is projected to everybody around the world, but in reality is quite the opposite of it. My book analyzes all these aspects. So if you have understood what the European Union is really, in reality, you will find interesting point of analysis and comparison in the book. If you are neutral about it, it will be important to read it in order to be more critic. And if you are, at the opposite, favorable at the European Union, at the same time it will help you in order to better judge and to have more point of analysis of the Union. So I highly recommend to purchase my book. because I consider that it will be very helpful for you and to develop some critical political point of view of what happened in Europe and of what might happen in your continent, even if you don't live in Europe, even if you live in America, as I said, in Africa or in Asia. But remember, in the link you will find the way to get my first book and my second one, the one that I'm presenting today. I didn't uncover the title. The title of my book is Eurodementia, European Union, the authoritarian design of the Babel Tower. And why this title? Well, as I said earlier, I wasn't decided if you use authoritarian or totalitarian. Finally, I decide authoritarian, even though there are many actions that European Union is undertaken that are quite totalitarian, first of all. Secondly, second aspect, why I compare the European Union with the Babel Tower. Because the Babel Tower is the exact example of what the European Union is. Why? You have slaves that build up the enormous tower. Somebody take advantage of it, but most of the people, through their taxation, have built this structure that sooner or later will have the future already written. It will be doomed to fail. That's the reality of the European Union, and that is why I used the image of the Babel Tower. In the Bible, they already taught about the European Union many thousand years ago. So, thank you for your attention. Please remember also to subscribe to the channel, share this video with your friend, and I'm looking forward to have you in my next presentation.